There are 12 wealth traps that you need to avoid at all costs if you want to get ahead financially. If you avoid these, you'll be setting yourself up for success and being able to accumulate wealth quickly. But if you fall for one of these wealth traps, they could set you back years, if not decades, financially. The first wealth killer that you need to avoid is falling into the new car trap. Most people out there think it's completely normal to have a car payment, but that's actually false. Countless highly successful individuals have made the decision to drive a reliable paid-off vehicle and then direct that savings elsewhere, like investments. And get this, according to CNBC, the average car payment in 2024 is $760 a month. That means by the time you factor in the auto loan as well as insurance and things like oil changes, the average person driving a newer vehicle is spending $1,000 or more per month on it. Now, a lot of people drive new cars because of the manufacturer's warranty. But the truth is, if you buy a reliable used vehicle, it's not going to suddenly break down just because it's out of warranty. If you do need to get a car payment, aim to purchase a certified pre-owned vehicle, many of which have an extended warranty. Then aim to pay this off as quickly as possible by doubling or tripling down on your payments. Relationships have the potential to be another significant wealth killer. Now, the right relationship can boost your overall happiness and boost your wealth, but that's not what we're talking about here. If you end up in a relationship with somebody who wants to live in the moment and spend freely financially, this is going to hold you back. Even worse, if you take a look at the divorce statistics, 40 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce, as well as 60 to 67% of second marriages. If you end up splitting everything down the middle, the wrong relationship could potentially cost you half of everything, potentially even multiple times over. So if you're a young person watching this, make sure you end up in the right relationship with someone whose financial goals align directly with yours. The next wealth trap is a simple one, and that is gambling. Now, personally, I don't see anything wrong with playing a little blackjack here and there or tossing 20 bucks into the slot machine for entertainment. But as soon as you're gambling with money that isn't budgeted for entertainment purposes, this becomes a very slippery slope. NerdWallet found in a survey that 1 in 5 Americans are spending over $1,000 a year on gambling. However, those who are seriously addicted are spending significantly more, possibly even tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands a year. So do yourself a favor and don't get in the habit of buying scratch-offs or lottery tickets, because it's more likely that you'll end up getting struck by a meteor, dating a supermodel, or having identical quadruplets versus winning the lottery. And real quick, guys, if you've gotten value out of this so far, make sure you drop a like and subscribe with the bell turned on for the YouTube algorithm. Lifestyle inflation is the next wealth killer on our list. If you study how most people build wealth, it has a lot to do with discipline and minimizing costs in order to purchase assets faster. But if you keep increasing your monthly costs as your income goes up, you're not getting ahead financially. So when you get that raise or promotion, don't go out there and buy a luxury car, a bigger house, or whatever it might be. Instead, you should be looking at this as additional fuel to put towards your goal of accumulating assets faster and building wealth. Now, student loans can be another significant wealth killer, but this comes with a caveat. If you don't know what you want to do with your life, you probably shouldn't take on massive student loans pursuing an education in that. However, if you've had the same dream job for your entire life and have a real passion for it, you should probably consider it. Student loans become a significant wealth trap when you don't use the education that you paid for, or even worse, don't finish the education altogether. The average student loan debt in the US, including both private and federal loans, comes in at over $40,000 per borrower. But here's the scary part. The average graduation rate across all schools in 2023 was just 62.2%. Imagine the nightmare situation of having tens of thousands of dollars of debt that you owe towards an education that you didn't even finish. As an alternative, community college can be a great way to pursue an education without taking on massive loans. This next wealth trap might not cost much early on, but it's going to be detrimental later in life. Failing to make good health decisions is one of the most costly mistakes that you can make. And sadly, most people don't think about this until it's too late. For example, the average cost for a dental cleaning is $100, so twice a year, you're looking at $200 annually. But if you skip those dental cleanings and end up needing a root canal later on, that's going to cost you $2,000 or more on average. That's just one example here, but the lesson is that the maintenance cost is going to be a lot less than the repair cost when it comes to your health. In addition, whatever you're putting into your body makes a huge difference in your overall health too, which leads us into the next wealth killer. Getting into the habit of drinking alcohol or smoking routinely is going to cost you in multiple different ways. And yes, this does include vaping too. Now this is pretty insane, but according to a study from 2015, the average lifetime smoker spends $1.4 million in personal costs. Now this includes the cost of the cigarettes as well as the health cost and the lower overall wages that are associated with routine smokers. And as far as the drinking goes, the average overconsumer of alcohol is spending $2,000 a year on their habit. It's far too easy to establish bad habits in your 20s that haunt you for the rest of your life, so your best bet is to avoid these things at the beginning. The next wealth trap that you have to avoid is falling into the instant gratification mindset. Keep in mind that most wealth is built from the exact opposite of this, or delayed gratification. Unfortunately, it's become increasingly popular to adopt this philosophy of just spending money while you're young and not worrying about the future. This has even led to the term doom spending, which refers to this exact bad habit. Here's the thing about the future. It is going to come, and it's going to come a lot faster than you think. And you don't want to be that person turning 30 realizing that you don't have any assets to speak of. Now, credit cards and buy now, pay later services tie in directly with the previous wealth killer because that is exactly how most of this instant gratification is financed. If there's something that you really want, like a gaming system or possibly a vacation, you should budget for that over time. And as far as credit cards go, they should really only be used for building credit and possibly earning cash back rewards so long as you never pay any money in interest to the credit card company. So if you do decide to use credit cards, make sure you're paying off that balance in full every single month, or just don't use them at all. And here's the hard truth. If you end up screwing up your credit by abusing credit cards, this could lead you into the next wealth trap, which is perpetual renting. In order to buy a house or a rental property, you need to have a lot of cash saved up as well as a great credit score. Having one without the other is of limited to no use, and unfortunately, it's becoming increasingly common to see young people that have cash saved up, but they can't use it because they have hurt their credit in the past. And here's the scary part. According to the Motley Fool, the average monthly rent in the US is now $1,988 a month, or 30% more than it was in 2020. And this trend of higher rent is only expected to continue. So you need to take care of your credit, build it up, save up cash, and aim to own your residence at some point in your life. Now, I know I'm going to be catching some flack in the comments over the last two wealth traps, which are tied together, but once again, these come with an important caveat. Having children or bringing pets into your life can bring a tremendous amount of joy and fulfillment to your life if you're ready for it. But if you aren't, this can be extremely stressful and a huge financial cost. According to the ASPCA, the average pet owner spends $1,400 annually on one furry friend. And if you have multiple, that cost multiplies too. So a household with 3 pets, for example, is spending $350 per month on average. But children, on the other hand, are significantly more expensive. According to Bankrate, the average cost in 2024 for raising one child is $26,000 annually, or just under $2,200 a month. And keep in mind that these childcare costs and pet costs are only expected to go up in the future. So if you have control over this, try to decide whether or not it's the right time financially to bring a pet into your life or to have a child. If you've already checked off the major financial milestones like buying a house and having a 6-month emergency fund, for example, now might be the right time. But if you're renting and living paycheck to paycheck, it's probably not the right time for either of these. But most importantly, let me know what you think about these wealth traps down in the comments below. And if you have any that you want to add to the list, let us know as well. If you made it to the very end, guys, don't forget to drop a like as well as subscribe and hit the bell for future notifications on videos just like this one. You can click below to watch my latest video, and I'll see you there.